In this video, I will explain with animated visuals the stage in making a DIY tiny house, starting from modifying the tiny house trailer to the finishing and interior. I prepare a tiny house trailer with an effective size of 1.9 and 2.8 meters. Since I want to widen the area of the tiny house, I need to add a basic frame to the trailer to make it about 1 meter longer and also include additional support poles like this. The first step needs to be a wooden floor frame as a basic base, which is installed on top of the trailer frame. The area of this wooden frame adjusts to the space above it. Next is to make a network of wall frames by considering the positions of the doors and windows and other available ventilation. After that, of course, you need to make a frame for the loft bed as a single bed with a loft bed area width of around 1 meter. After the floor frame, wall frame and loft bed frame are arranged according to the design. The next step is to assemble the roof frame. This roof shape is designed to slope backwards, so the frame needs to adjust to the shape of the roof according to the design. After the main roof frame is assembled, we make a roof edge as a barrier around the roof. This roof edge is made of plank-shaped wood, so it is lighter but can prevent rainwater from leaking in. After all the frames are assembled, the next stage is to fill the foam in all the floor frame modules. This foam functions as insulation to protect the inside space against humidity, hot and cold weather from outside. After that, install the subfloor on the top surface of the floor frame, which has been completely filled with foam. The subfloor functions as a basic foundation before installing the finished floor. After that, you need to install foam on all wall frame modules except for opening areas such as doors and windows. Just like before, the function of this foam is as insulation against humidity, hot and cold weather from the outside, so that the indoor temperature remains maintained and is habitable in the long term as a healthy resident. The loft frame area also needs foam as insulation. The roof area, especially the part that covers the lower space, also needs foam as insulation. Next is the installation of waterproof paper, which is needed as waterproof so that rainwater from outside the room can be blocked by the waterproof layer. Apart from that, it also has a waterproof function as protection for tiny house materials and elements in indoor area. After installing the subfloor, the previous steps include making a floor covering as the final finishing of the floor. We can choose the motif and type of flooring according to our wish and needs in the interior area of the room. Floor finish is also installed in the loft bed area. After that is the positioning of the door using solid wood material along with the door handle. After the door is installed, the next step is installing windows and other openings in the opening that was prepared in the previous stage. At this stage, the shape of the tiny house is starting to appear even though it is not yet completely finished. In this section, plywood needs to be installed as the first covering layer before finishing in the form of wall siding. Next is the final layer of this tiny house in the form of wall siding. This section is related to the exterior aesthetics of the tiny house, which of course need good finishing and is weather resistant. The next stage is to install the final roof covering layer with a metal roof or other type of roof that is suitable for residential home and is weather resistant and able to minimize noise both from outside and inside. The next step is to install a ceiling at the bottom of the roof. The shape of the ceiling follows the shape of the roof because it needs to maximize the interior space as well. In this case, wall cornering is an equally important part of the construction of the outermost wall finish. Apart from being aesthetic, this wall cornering also functions as a lock and cover for the pieces of planks that have been assembled in the previous stage. It is very likely that the pieces of the board are not neat enough, so while cornering is needed to camouflage them into neat and artistic elements in the tiny house exterior design. Next is the portable entrance stair element, which can be made permanently or temporary. This, of course, depends on the needs and taste of the occupants of this tiny house. The next step is to install boards of the interior of the tiny house as our finishing elements for the interior walls. This can still be decorated interiorly depending on the aesthetic taste of the occupants of the tiny house. Another thing that should not be forgotten is the railing in the loft area as an aspect of the safety of the occupants in loft bed area. Next are the kitchen elements along with sink and stove next to it. As a complement to the kitchen, next is the placement of the refrigerator adjacent to the kitchen elements. Next is the placement of a single bed measuring around 90 cm and 200 cm or single bed. Next is the installation of stairs that can be moved according to activity needs and conditions, especially in the loft bed area. Next is the installation of a portable TV on the ceiling of the loft bed area. This can of course be adjusted to suit the ergonomics of the room or according to the comfort of the user's views of the position of the portable TV. Okay, tiny house friends, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, to this magnific creator channel. I will provide content about the tiny house building animation from start to finish. I hope this all useful for friends and see you with my surprise in the next video. Thank you.